as I'm streaming, and I think I'm just gonna start uploading my streams to YouTube as well. My random shit. I was only posting devlogs for my game on my YouTube channel, but I think I'm just gonna post fucking whatever. I don't even care anymore. Whatever the hell I want. Drinking a strong zero. They don't have weed in Japan, unfortunately. I was really, really loving the edibles back in the States. I have one viewer. I don't know if it's a real viewer, but whoever it is, hello. These streams seem to only last like 20 minutes. It's the internet connection I have here. It's just kind of shitty. Like I think they just start to throttle me after 20 minutes. So if the stream starts to cut out or just suddenly ends, you know why. Yeah. I'm just gonna I guess keep talking. I don't know if I should just hang out here, just wait for people to come. Maybe I'll just try to, if I try to be offering value with the things that I'm saying on stream, maybe the universe will attract people to my stream, and then if they click, they'll be like, oh, he's talking about cool shit. All I do is I keep talking about regret that I've had in my life. Maybe I just I talk about it too much. So, I don't know. I don't know what I should talk about. I'll just do whatever the fuck I feel like. Maybe I'll play some guitar. You won't really hear it that well, because it's not going to be plugged in. I'll play it anyway. Do you like this? This is my guitar. It's a Strandberg Bowden. I don't even care about the fucking model numbers of things anymore. I don't give a shit. I feel like life is so... Honestly, life has become kind of worthless to me, in a way. I was really gunning for living a very specific life. I had a very, very specific plan that I was executing on. I was supposed to be famous by now, according to my plan. Supposed to be famous and rich. 2 years ago. That just didn't happen, unfortunately. I can kind of play guitar. I stopped playing guitar 10 years ago. I regret putting it down. I was so afraid that I wasn't going to become extremely successful with it. I wanted extreme amounts of success. And I just thought well, maybe I won't get that with guitar. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. What I realized was the thing that you need to do for anything that you're making is to just keep fucking going. You should never not make something. If there's a point in your life where you're scared, especially when you're young, maybe your late teens, early 20s, and you're at that transitory period where you're leaving home and you're thinking, okay, well, I have to go to college, I have to sort of pick what I want to do with my life, and blah, 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 all the shit. You should never stop. And like you should never just like stop moving. I don't think that's really a good thing, and that's what I did. I completely halted everything in my life to a screeching, grinding halt. And I'm like, I'm gonna just think about what I want to do. And sometimes you do need that, but get back on the horse after like a year. So I sort of did that. I needed some time off to like really think about what I want to do with myself and sort of reorganize and reprioritize my life. I was dealing with some trauma and some abuse, honestly, at that time. So it was pretty difficult for me doing that, especially because I took that time off in the same place as people who were treating me like shit and who had treated me like shit. That wasn't very good. But I don't know. If you're like at this period of your life where you're doing something and you don't know if you want to do it, try to study abroad, maybe, if you can do that. I don't know why, like, my parents never wanted to let me study abroad. I think I approached them twice growing up where I wanted to do a foreign exchange program, and both times it vehemently, no, absolutely not. And I could never get a good answer out of them as to why. And I thought about it recently. I literally think it was just this. It was, so I had food allergies, right? So I was allergic to like nuts, milk. And I think my mom literally just thought like, well, if you go to a foreign country, you're going to just have some random food that's going to kill you and you're going to be dead. I think that was the reason. And I think my mom did not want to say that to me because maybe on some level she realized that was fucking crazy. Especially because up until that point, for my entire life, it was very easy for me to manage my food allergies. I was very, very disciplined because I didn't want to die. I knew that it would affect me and kill me or make me very sick and feel like shit. So I was really good about just like asking everyone, like, okay, what's in the food? And I got really good at like just reading ingredients very, very rapidly, back on the back of food labels and shit. That's just crazy to me that like my mother, and maybe I'm putting words into her mouth, because she still like she wouldn't fucking tell me what it was. Maybe I can ask, but I'm kind of like not really speaking to my family at the moment. But it would just be crazy if that was the reason, because it'd just be like you're denying your child like a very formative, incredible, possibly incredible life experience because you're afraid that like he's gonna eat a peanut and then die. Like, what the fuck? Especially because I was fine up until that point. Like, I never had that issue. This just kind of shows the craziness of my family. Like they were very, very risk averse, and to them it was like they would rather just like sit there and not do anything with their lives if it meant that they were safe and they could like stay alive and not have any chance of getting hurt. And that sort of influenced me to take that to like an extreme level. And I remember I became like very anxious myself, and I remember my mom was like, why are you like this? And it's like, oh, I wonder why. Like, because you guys are like that. Everything was always a no. Either for things that I wanted to do or for things that they were deciding on doing. Like we go on vacation, right? And so you went on vacation, you're privileged. Yeah. Whatever. But we would go on vacation and what my parents would want to do is they would find one place that they liked and say, oh, let's just go here. Let's go here again. And the next day, let's go here again. Like to eat, what I'm saying. And I just couldn't understand that. Like, like it seemed normal to me when I was a kid, but later on I would just think like there was a time like we went to fucking Italy, right? And they just kept wanting to eat at the same place, right? I think that was Italy. I'm exposing myself here. Recently we went on a trip to Barcelona. It's very recent, and there was a place right outside of the hotel, and I don't even think it was real like Catalonian food or like Barcelona food, Spanish food. It's kind of like touristy. But my parents are just like, let's just go here every night, like all the time. It's good food, and they couldn't fathom the whole idea. It's like you're in Barcelona with your family. You're probably only going to do this once in your life. Only once. We're never going to be this young again in this particular configuration, you know. If we ever go back again, like you could die next year. Like, you know, my dad's like very unhealthy, right? He's overweight and shit. Doesn't really seem to care about it. He could be dead in 6 months, and then he's just thinking like, well, let's just go here again. You know, like, what are you thinking? That like life is just like this infinitely spread out thing that, you know, there's always another day to do something interesting, what you really wanted to do. Just don't understand it, you know. But how did I get on this? I think that's related to like why my parents wouldn't let me do things like go to a foreign exchange program. I think I asked, like, I want to go to Japan on a foreign exchange program. And like, I gotta remember this for my kids, because if I encounter things, because I do want to have kids, I might not be able to. I have a lot of trouble dating. I cannot find anyone that I really like and who likes me. Like, I'm a fucking weirdo, man, and it doesn't seem like girls like me that much. At least maybe not the ones that I'm interested in. But I gotta remember this. So if I encounter anything in my adult life, or as a father, where I realize like why they didn't want to let me go on a foreign exchange program, I gotta remember to put those fucking things to the side and be like, you're not getting in the way of your kid living an incredible life, because you only get one of those. You only get one childhood. So I think it's the job of parents to make sure that childhood is fucking good. And it's not just about like, I feel like a lot of parents are like, whoa, you just want to go on vacation, you're spoiled. It's like what the fuck do you think life is? You know, you should just stay home and work. For what reason? You know, Jesus Christ. You know, but I don't know. If my kid approached me and said like, I want to go, you know, study in Korea for a year, and they're like fucking 12, because I think I was 12, and I was like, I want to do a foreign exchange program, and they're 12, I would be like, holy fuck, this kid is a goddamn go-getter. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. That is exactly the attitude that you should have. Fuck yes, you're doing that. Let's figure it out. Let's do it. You know, abso-fucking-lutely. You know, pack your fucking bags. Let's go. You know, I could even do a thing where it's like, you know, let's go like tour the place, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just be like, no, like the first exposure to it is gonna be for your foreign exchange. Like, you're not even gonna go visit first. Like, you're just gonna go. You're gonna do it, and it'll be an amazing experience for you. You know, because everything will be brand new, and it'll be scary as fuck, and you could be miserable for the first like 3 days, but you'll get used to it, you know, especially because, you know, kids are very adaptable. But God, I think about that. You know, I'm 29. I'm gonna be 30 in 3 days. Oh my God, it's 2 days now. Fuck, that sucks. Wish I could do my childhood over again. Wish I could be fucking isekai'd, you know. What is that? That anime, Remake Your Life. the main character, he's 28, and he just kind of ended up in like a shitty situation. Didn't really do what he wanted to do, and then he's like, "Oh, I wish I could just go back to like when I first started college and like redo everything." And then he wakes up the next day, and of course he's like 18 again, going to school. And it's funny because that was like exactly what I wanted. Like I wanted to go back and like go to like a good art school or something. That would have been amazing. There were some things that happened to me in my life that sort of made that a really difficult thing, and also just annoying parents, shit like that. But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna be. What was I saying? I'm gonna be 30 in 2 days, and I moved. I'm in Japan right now. I'm from the U.S., but I'm in Japan, and I moved here, about a month and a half ago now, and it looks like the internet's gonna start crapping out soon. I moved here about a month and a half ago now, and I finally like came to Japan for the first time like 2 or 3 months ago for the first time, and I wanted to come here my whole fucking life. And I always thought like, okay, well, I have to do all this preparation to come here first, like all this shit, because it has to be perfect. I have to like be fluent in Japanese, like native level fluent, and I have to have all of this money, and like I have to have like a place to live and blah blah blah, and I have to have like skills to my name, like I have to be an incredible artist or something, you know. And I just kept like studying drawing, you know, because I had this plan. I was going to be like a manga artist and then make anime, stuff like that. So I just kept studying that stuff, and like, okay, well, once I get good, then I'll go. And I thought I'll be able to do that in like 2 years, but fuck no, like it just takes a long time to get really good at something, especially like master level. And you also have to be like studying things in the correct way, not the correct way, but in a way that's effective. The way I was studying and learning drawing was very ineffective. I wasn't doing any original pieces at all. I was just like learning from these anatomy books, and I wasn't doing anything else. I was like, I'm going to master anatomy first, and then I'm going to move on to everything else. But it's like, no, that's not how you study. You sample from everything. You study some anatomy, then perspective, then color, then lighting, and composition. You interleave, they call it. And studies show that that's a more effective way to learn. But really, the thing that I missed was that I was supposed to be copying artists that I liked, like doing perfect copies of what they were doing. And also, the biggest thing was that I needed to just make pieces. That's what I needed to do. But I didn't make anything. I refused to make anything. I was like, I'm not making anything because I suck. And everything that I make is going to suck. So what I have to do is I have to learn how to make things, and then I'll make it. That's not how art works, motherfucker. Not at all. You gotta just make stuff. That's it. And it's gonna suck. Who cares? But you have to do that stream of consciousness, or like you get an inspiration or you get an idea, and you have to just try to make it and figure it out. You know, Google stuff, look stuff up. Do multiple attempts. That's it. I don't know. I'm terrible at telling stories. I meander. Maybe the more I do this, I'll get better at it. But yeah, I just what was I gonna say? What was I saying? But yeah, I wanted to be here a long time ago. You know, but I had this crazy woman getting in my way, and you could have been thinking, well, maybe it just, like, dude, like, maybe it just costs too much money, blah, blah, blah. It didn't, not for my parents. And you could say, well, how hard of a life could you have had if your parents were in a situation where they had the money to send you to things like that, but they just refused to? And, you know, fair enough. But it's sentiment. It's like, I really want to do this thing with my life. There's an opportunity to do it. Please help me with it. Because I'm showing this like huge interest towards these things. Help me, please. You know, about the answer I got was just no. No. And it's almost as if there was this sentiment from my mom too, growing up, where it's like, well, you're just a kid, you don't know what you want. You know, let's hold out until you're like closer to 18 or 20, and then you have a better idea of what you want to do with your life. You know, but it's like, what else was I doing at the time? I was fucking 12. I was just going to school, going to the shitty public school that, you know, I fucking hated. Like, the kids hated me there. I was doing nothing that I liked. Here I was like obsessed with the computer, and I was making all these websites and making all this art, doing graphic design, web design, HTML, CSS. You know, no other kid was doing that. You know, other kids, they were still fucking picking their noses and just going outside and playing really shitty baseball with each other. You know, meanwhile, I was fucking enterprising, man. Like, I was going, making all this crazy shit. And like, I had all these crazy interests, and like, I'm telling you, like, I want to go to fucking Japan and, like, you know, learn Japanese and study in like a Japanese school, and go to a foreign country and like meet other people, and like, you know, expose myself to another culture like entirely, and like live there for like a year, or like at least like a few months, for God's sake, you know. And this is a common thing you do, like you have like host families and shit, and people do that fucking shit all the time. You know, that was not unheard of at all. And I was sort of in like a slightly well-to-do area. You know, we probably could have found like a good high quality exchange program to send me on, right? I could be with like proper trusted people, and go to like a good Japanese like school for like, you know, a few months to a year. And then I could have came home, and because when you're young, you can learn things like really quickly, because your neuroplasticity is just kind of at an all-time high. I could have came home, you know, speaking Japanese, you know, and here I am, like, I'm 29, and I've been studying Japanese on and off for like 5 or 6 years or more, and I'm still not fluent. I'm not, you know, like, I can imitate the accent pretty well. You know, はい、よろしくお願いします。僕の名前はサムです。よろしくお願いします。Kind of shit, like, ありがとうございました。Like, I can kind of do that, but I can't fully express myself in Japanese. I'm like, 日本語上手, but I'm not really. That doesn't. That means like you're oh, like your Japanese is good. But you know, that it kind of means like you're not really like that good, you know. like you can kind of bullshit. But it's really unfortunate that I'm still at that level, and you know, things like that, you know, these opportunities that I could have had when I was a kid. My mother was just like, no, absolutely not. I refuse. And to her, it's like, this is like, oh, this makes perfect sense. Like, why the fuck would I let you go? Why would you go do that? There's so many things wrong with that. And it's like, there's also so many things right with it too. You know, that's really good for your kid. So why am I talking about this when I'm 29, about to be 30? It's like, this is old news. I can't go back and, you know, change the past. Unfortunately, I wish I could. I wish I could kind of like go back and just specific moments in my life and be like, okay, well, I should have done this. You know, my parents should have been like, that's an incredible idea. Let's make that happen for you, and really help you do something really cool with your life, because it's amazing that you're 12 and you have these kinds of ideas and plans and things that you want to do. So we'll support you, and we'll help you do it. But why do I keep coming back to this? One, I guess, you know, I'm turning 30, and it's sort of like I'm probably having like some sort of midlife crisis. That's really what this is. But it's also, I don't know, it's just, there's something about this age in my life where, you know, at this point I had all of these things that I wanted to do, and I barely did any of them. I did like 2 of them, or 3 maybe, but didn't really make that much progress in so many things. So I'm sort of doing a lot of self-reflection to just sort of think, like, why, like, where did I go wrong? Like, what happened? You know, I thought that I was doing everything right. I thought it would be fine, but things didn't really work out. You know, what happened? Where did I go wrong? Where should I have made a left turn instead of a right turn? You know, shit like that. Also to reassess where I want to take my life going forward too. What I want to do with myself. You know, whether I want to continue on certain paths or change my path or whatever the hell. Two, I'm recording this because I want to, you know, I kind of want to catalog my life as well, because up until now I've been writing a lot of this stuff down, like journaling, but it's kind of just existed in my own head. I haven't really talked about this that much with anyone. This stuff in particular I have, because I keep pissing off everyone I know because it's all I've been talking about. And I've been like just complaining about it. And I don't know, I also want to share this with other people, because it's possible that you can get value out of this, to say like, oh, you know, I'm like 17 or I'm 22 and I want to do something like this. Like, I want to go on an exchange program, or I want to study abroad. Maybe some 13-year-old will find this, and they're dealing with the same fucking issue, where their parents are saying like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Like, you just go to school and do your homework or something, instead of like, there's an opportunity to do an exchange program and your parents just won't let you go for some stupid arbitrary reason that they won't even tell you. And maybe this will help that kid, you know, have some ammo in that argument, or maybe just seek out some alternative way to kind of skirt by them and set it up with their school, or maybe one of their relatives or something, where their relatives will kind of help set up this foreign exchange thing for them, and whatever the hell, so that they can actually live their fucking lives, instead of, you know, their parents refusing to let them do things because of safety or some dumb shit. You know, and also I'm doing a lot of this reflection for my eventual kids as well, because you know, I'm 30 now, going, like I said, 2 days I'll be 30, and that's my stomach. And you know, once you get to that age, you know, you do start to think, like, I've been thinking about how I want to raise my kids for my whole life. Actually, when I was a kid, I would think about that whenever I'd run into some bullshit with my parents, and there was plenty of bullshit. I'd be like, I'm not going to do that for my kid. I'm going to do this differently when I have kids. No way is that happening. And some of those things I still remember, I think. And I'm also just like writing this shit down because I want to remember. I don't want to forget. So I had this kind of idea where when I have kids, I'm going to be regularly going back to recordings like this. I've taken a lot of text notes and voice notes about this sort of stream of consciousness, like how shitty things that I dealt with as a kid. So I have this idea where I want to go back while I'm raising my kids to make sure that I don't miss anything. And I'll never be perfect, because there'll never be such a thing as a perfect parent. You know, people just fuck things up. It's just human nature. You know, we all make mistakes. But I want to make sure I don't make these really big ones. You know, this idea of like, you know, I could have studied abroad at a young age, and that could have changed the trajectory of my life in a very positive way. It could have sped things along much more quickly for the things that I wanted to do with myself. But instead, you know, I was kind of denied an opportunity for possibly a stupid reason, or selfishness, or whatever. Laziness maybe. But stuff like that, I want to make sure I don't miss that shit, and make sure that, you know, I don't kind of fall into the same patterns of parenting actions that my parents did when I raised my kids. If I'm lucky enough to meet a woman who wants to do that with me, you know. Yeah. So, and I don't know, also entertainment, if you find this entertaining. I feel like this is just really schizo rambling now. This is going on like 30 minutes. I don't even know if I'll be able to upload this right away on YouTube, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream now. Maybe I'll come back. But I just want to have this cutoff point so that I can kind of upload this on YouTube easily as like a kind of themed video. But yeah, it's just, there's one person who's here. I don't know if it's an actual person or a bot. I don't know who it is, but if there are people who aren't bots who are here, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Yeah, signing off. Might be back soon, so see ya.